feelings coming back here? Now you've done it a couple of times, but is it any different?
No, it's always the same. The love is always there from both sides, myself and the fans, the city. It's definitely emotional coming back, and you try to hold it back, but I love it. I love every last bit of it. I'm a part of the city, 9 years here, a kid to a young man, so it's all love.
A lot has changed for you since a lot has changed for you since the last time you came here. How do you feel about the way everything is shifting for you, and how do you feel about your new home in Washington?
I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be. God, He doesn't make any mistakes. So, first off, I thank Him every day. I'm able to come out here and do the game and play the game I love to play, and also take care of my family while doing it. So to be on that court, I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be. So I'm loving it.
What's going through your mind when you hear the "We Want Marcus" chants out there?
Flashbacks, baby. Nah, but it's always great. Like I said, the fans have always shown love, and it definitely brings back memories. I know my wife was over there trying not to cry, but it's always a great feeling, like I said, but it definitely brought back some memories.
How much have you been able to stay in touch with your former teammates over the past few seasons?
Quite actually often, more than you would probably think. I try not to intrude too much, especially during the season, because I know everybody's kind of busy doing their thing. So, but we definitely keep in touch, and it's always good to keep in touch with those guys. Grew up with those guys. We went through a lot of battles, blood, sweat, and tears. Everybody knows, a few of those guys came to my mom's funeral, so it's a deeper bond than just basketball between us.
What happened with that fan behind the bench?
Just crossed the line, and we all know I don't do line crossing, so that was it. We move on. Unfortunate. You never want to see that, especially for a guy who's coming back and who's giving the city everything he has. So, but it is what it is. Take the spirit. We'll take it. On to the next one.
Were you arguing with him, or were you just pointing him out to security?
Pointing him out to security, just trying to get him out before it escalated more than what it was. But that's over with. It's done with. On to the next one.
What was your reaction? Memphis decided to trade you, and you ended up in Washington. And how do you kind of look ahead to next year and kind of the next steps in your career after this?
Control what I can control. That's been my motto, and that's kind of how it's going to stand. These last couple of years, you've seen things that you probably didn't expect to see. You've experienced things that you probably didn't expect to experience, and it kind of brings things to the surface for you, and you just got to control what you can control.
A lot of change, even in Memphis, since you've gone. What is your reaction to this?
Yeah, that was weird. I definitely didn't see that coming, especially how it happened and during the season with Coach Taylor, myself included. I didn't see that coming. Had a feeling, but didn't see it coming in like it happened. But like I said, that's out of my control. And, if I'm sitting here trying to worry about things I can control, it's only going to drive me crazy, and I can't afford that.
What was your feeling about returning to the city but not playing tonight? And is that something that BK talked to you before the game, or did you find out as the game went on?
Find out as on the fly. You always want to play, but at the same time, it was good to just take all the love in and not have to be out there focused on the game too. So it was a little mix between both.
Marcus, as I've said over the years, it always seems like you've been in the league 12 years, but you're only 30. I mean, what's it like to kind of be 31 now?
Come on, give me my one.
What's it like to be now the old head on a team of youngsters as opposed to trying to chase a championship? Like, how do you mentally shift roles like that?
I gotta get used to that. They calling me Unc and things like that. I ain't ready for that. But no, it's great. It's a great group of young guys here, and the thing I love about them is they're ready to learn and they're willing to learn. They're constantly asking me questions, constantly asking me to demonstrate things or how I would do things, and that's what you ask for as a competitor, as a player yourself. When guys come up to you, that's a great feeling. It allows you to see that what you're doing and the impact that you have made hasn't gone unnoticed, and keep doing it. So I was very excited.
You still have game left. I mean, you still want to play a long time. I mean, how do you kind of what do you want to do next in terms of just what kind of role would you prefer? Because you want that chip.
Yeah, definitely. I'm one of probably the biggest competitors in this league, and as long as I'm able to be out there, I want to be out there, and I'm going to be out there. Where, when, how, that's not in my control. All I can do is control my preparation to be prepared for whatever is thrown at me. So obviously, you know, I would like to get back to that play of, you know, racking up those minutes and really getting out there with those guys. But like I said, control what I can control.
At this point in your career, balance, you know, kind of maintaining your health. I know you've had a couple of injuries over the last couple of years, and getting out there every night. What's that balance been like for you?
It's been different. This is probably the most I have been hurt with these injuries back to back as I have had often as they happen. But you know, I think having a kid has also brought light to my eyes where, you know, I'm not freaking out as much. I'm not exerting as much energy on those things, and I'm just kind of letting everything happen the way it's supposed to. And if it's not, I'm not worried about it. So I think that kind of helped me because it is a little hard. You know, when you're so used to playing a lot, then you kind of get cut back a little bit with injuries. Then you try to come back, and then you're thinking you're back on track, and something happens again. It's tough, but I think that kind of keeps me in perspective and keeps me understanding that everything's going to be okay.
Marcus, while you were here, you guys had a lot of battles against the Milwaukee Bucks and Chris Middleton, and now your teammates together. How has that been? You guys share like war stories?
Oh, of course.
Of course. I told him today, it was funny because I told him today he don't never miss when he played against me. You know, he gets in practice against us and he misses every shot, and it was like, what's going on? I don't know. So Jordan as well, you know, but we definitely have had those laughs. It's good, you know. Love Chris, love JP, battle with those guys over the years, and you know, it feels good to be playing with them.
When you're back in Boston, are there things that you immediately want to go do or see? Like you have like a routine of like one.
Actually, no. I kind of just try to hide because it's too much and overwhelming, and I don't want to disappoint anybody, so I'd rather just stay away. Thank you, guys.